considered more of a live cinema actually is this work by Peter Greenaway, Tool Flooper, extraordinary unique project. Yeah, you see he's using five huge projections, and this little figure is him with this big display he controls with. It's quite impressive. This guy is over 70 years old. And well, yeah, and basically, he shot this movie for about 9 years, and it's about, I don't know if you know Tool Flooper, story of a traveler, and if I'm not mistaken, it consists of 99 movies, 99 chapters, which he is actually presenting live, like this. It doesn't exist as a movie somewhere, you know, in his backpack. It's actually, he presents it like this. That's also another very important criteria. Because some people think that live cinema is when you chop up a movie and play it to the music. Well, not. It is a cinema, it is live, but it's not live cinema. Actually, yeah. So this is a range of works which claim to be live cinema, which say the artists are saying they are doing live cinema, but it's a really different relationship to the concept, you know. And it's interesting how what a big mess it creates actually. You know, if everyone claims this is live cinema, okay, this is live cinema, then you are like, okay, I don't understand what live cinema is. Just give me a nice VJ set and just stop it. Stop calling it live cinema. I don't understand it. Well, I personally really think it's a really interesting way cinema could be developed into. And there's so many other fields it can take inspiration from, like games, for example, and the way games exist now, and all this 360 displays and whatever, and also interaction, which lacks in knowledge is projects. Because I think, yeah, it's interesting when the artist is presenting live his work, and the work is unique, basically. It never, I almost finished. Okay. It's alright.
But you really appreciate it.
The quality of records is not so good anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But we heard something.
It's a camera recorder from someone in Mexico, actually. Yeah, and what was I in?
You were speaking about live cinema.
Right. Okay. It's really interesting to explore. There's really so many directions it can be developed into. And I'm a bit disappointed. Like I just mentioned, I've done a questionnaire research between several VJs here in Prague and also abroad. And it's really diverse, such a diverse relationship or interpretation the artists themselves give to VJ or audiovisual performances or live cinema is really vast. But somehow I really think it's an interesting art form, and I'm trying to develop it in my own practice. And if you don't mind, I'm going to show you some examples of my work, which are, I'm always studying. I just finished the bachelor and I just worked on it like a year, maybe max. So don't judge me.
Don't worry, we won't.
We're happy you're here, so thank you, Elina.
And the teaching is still the free art.
Up to you.
Just 5 more minutes. I'm just gonna show you what's into it. So basically, like a year ago, I started. I shot this video. It's a live performance of it. Basically, I've shot normally a script-based video, And I presented it in a live editing form. And you know, well, as you see, it's just a rectangle on the wall. It's just blending between frames, between clips. It's basically like just the beginning for me. The first project I kind of like tried to do narration in a live editing mode. Yeah, and it's like a consequent, it's linear story based on movies that Mikransky, Beggar, Hitler. Yeah. Sort of like, yeah. And by the way, if you haven't heard about Kino Automat, which comes into Svedazor, please do check it out. It does run tonight, the first night. They show it again in Svedazor. Talking about experimental movie in Czech Republic. Czech Republic is really unique in this regard. It's where the first interactive movie actually emerged, this Kino Automat. Yeah.
For the expo in Montreal.
But it was Kino Automat, it was in Expo.
In Expo 67.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
1967.
really like a big success of the Czech.
But there were more of them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, sure, but it's like the first try of giving actual interaction, you know, to giving the choice to the viewer, which is unique. So then, after a year, I've done this project, which is, I call it Dialogues of Death, and basically it's a dialogue of two screens. There's a sound, yeah, that's...
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, sound is funny. Yeah, what I tried to explore here is to put the viewer in between the screens and try to develop a dialogue between the screens, and for the viewer to be free to sort of like choose where to watch, where to put the place to watch it, you know, kind of like a bit freer from the rectangular on the wall. Sort of like, I developed it to some extent, but I think there's really way much more potential in this kind of work. At some point, there are two characters actually talking between each other. Yeah, these are like sort of my characters who are sort of visually communicating between each other. So, and my last project this year was this one. I called it Portraits, and it's the idea originally was interactive documentary. In the screens you see in the middle, these panels you see in the middle screens are sort of interactive or painted with conductive paints on transparent polys. And here the viewer is supposed to, with a touch, is supposed to switch the videos or visually change the videos and change the audio. It was very complicated, it didn't really work the way I planned it to, because there was a lot of interference between the circuits.
What program did you use?
Well, it's Arduino. Basically, Arduino takes the input from the conductive panels, sends it to pure data, and pure data sends OSC messages to Resolve. And it's portraits of 3 people on 3 big panels. These are 3-meter panels, and that's why it's like this. Well, it's distorted because of 360 lens, but also but also it's like distorted when you're standing down there. These are giant screens over you, which is an interesting effect, I think. And yeah, well, it's sort of a documentary much. People are talking about themselves. People are, yeah, and it consists of three portraits. One portrait, actual video portrait of a person. One portrait, this kind of abstract, my own kind of abstract line thing, and even more abstract video, just the feeling I have from the person, basically. So it's a bunch of abstractions, sort of compiling into one portrait of one person, and sort of supposed to be interactive. Sorry if I confuse you. So yeah, this is what I've been working on. Do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Physics, your work you were talking about, you wrote, was about lesson or VJing or lesson?
Yeah, it was about understanding live cinema. But like I'm saying, the VJ culture, the VJ heritage is a big part of it. Like it doesn't have to be just switching on clicks. It's just I'm so not here in the dog. But I mean, like there could be a whole bunch of effects. But the effects have to have sense there. That's another difficult point. You can't just push a bunch of effects because you just like them. It has to make cinematographic value of some sort. But I mean, like, yeah, the VJ and the VJ in the cinema kind of like these two big parts which are building this live cinema genre.
And what is the most solid or big thing you've learned during your research?
Yeah.
Or the most amazing or whatever. Like something where you really...
That people are so different in understanding even DJing, even just audio-visual performances. So very different. Mainly because there's also sort of like you take DJ, you also can find like sort of subgenres in this art format of it. Because some people use video, some people use generative art, some people use animation, some people use sort of very different footage, and it's actually important. It's actually important what source you are using. Either you are producing your own footage, either you are recycling whatever footage you find, and it's very
mixing video.
Or just mixing videos, yeah, because like so many people are using principles of DJing in so many different ways and with so many different purposes that you just can't even give even one definition to DJing. There are resources like VJtheory.net or Victory. They're trying to kind of like put together all different contemporary theoretical works.
VJ theory was one of the first.
Sorry?
VJ theory was one of the first.
Yes.
Lia Material also has
contributions there. Yeah, they're really open to contributions.
And what is interesting about VJ theory is that the theoretical aspects were made by the producer itself.
Yes.
Came from the inside, like an understanding of the possibilities of.
Well, it's in most cases like all VJ theory is coming from VJs themselves. Which is unique, I think. Which is unique because
even if you meet these people that are doing VJing like these DVDs and VHS.
Yeah, that's
it
super.
happened to me like I was looking at you are using the old mix and you are using like 2 videos and 2 DVDs to mix the videos. Yeah, and from I have a lot of material that I was cutting when I was in the 90s and there was no computer and anything, so